Alright, so you can see that one of the side effects of this wildflower bed that I planted is that maybe I've planted about 100 maple trees if I don't clean this up. So I guess I'm going to have to pick all these up out of here so we don't have 100 maple trees. So that'll be too many. But if we look real close, we can see that we have successfully started some wildflowers. You can see the seeds, you can see the little guys coming in, popping up over here and over there. And we'll have a nice little wildflower bed here in a minute. I saw some more, but I can't see them right now while I'm recording, and I'm not going to stop recording to find them. The Japanese maple is looking beautiful. I love this tree, and whoever planted it, unless it was the lady that owned my house before me and kind of hung the cabinets crooked, but I guess I can forgive her for, if she did in fact plant this tree, I could square up the cabinets. That's a digression. We don't need to go into that. Let's check out the flowers. It's Friday. Let's see how the flowers are doing. Got a lot of good stuff coming in over here. Probably need some additional soil or mulch or something in these beds. Man, we got a crazy purple columbine coming in over here. What's up? This is stolen, I think, from my wife's aunt's yard. This one came from the discount rack at Lowe's. Different color purple columbine. We got a nice pretty coral bell. Whatever this is, it's orange when it comes up. Not sure what these are, but they're neat. And then, some of these pink guys. Listen, I'm not a plant guy. We got the purple thing and the little green things that turn into purple things. So this purple thing's hanging out over here. That is the purple stuff that comes out of the purple stuff. Listen, you don't have to know what you're doing. Sometimes you just put a bearded iris rhizome in the ground, or maybe a bunch of them, and see what happens. And sometimes they just do their own thing. Still got to rebuild this. The chives are doing great. The sage is doing great. That stuff's dead. I got to put in this arbor real quick so that this has something to climb. That looks pretty. Fish, do you look pretty? You're a pretty dog. Ooh-wee. It's windy. Pretty sure that's a weed. Most of these are empty. That's some onions that were gonna start wilting, and I just shoved them in a pot. Pulled some pieces off of the apple tree to see if I could get them to root. Looks like I got some roots starting to form. Maybe that was a bad idea to pull those out, but it's probably fine. We'll figure that out later. These columbines are very pretty, blowing around in the wind. No idea if you can hear me. So this is a weed called fleabane. I'll eventually have to clear it out of here, but it's kind of pretty. So, we'll deal with that later. This is a big old weed of some kind. Got to clear that out. This is kale flowers and some onions that have gone crazy. And I forget what kind of tree this was, but it's growing up around this fountain, which I have to fix the pump for. And, lots of projects to work on, but also a lot of flowers and a pretty dog. So Just go on the tour. Look, these things, I didn't even plant them this year. They just came back. And, you know, we got these red things in here too. These things are great. They shoot up later into like these red, pink little puffball things. But right now they just kind of do their thing there. These trellises have seen better days. That wagon wheel's seen better days. We will need to dig these hostas out of their weedy prison. There's even like a variegated hosta down in here that I just need to look at all this stuff in the way of my hosta. I might need to just move this hosta. This guy's coming back. You can see that is a Texas Star Hibiscus. These stalks will need to be trimmed off. They're basically dead, but I need to remember where the plant is under all the weeds, so I leave them on there for a little while. We got these beautiful hellebores that are going to produce some seeds for me. So if you live local and you want some hellebore seeds, I'm about to have some. Got some more hellebores and a trillium hiding in one of the few places in the yard that I know it can thrive, in the shade side of the greenhouse, between the greenhouse and the fence. And a lot more hellebores that haven't flowered yet, but they're taken off in a way that I haven't seen before. And it looks like another stolen columbine from Megan's aunt's house. Not doing so well in the shade. May have to move that somewhere else, but we'll figure that out. And these are kind of pinkish purple. We got these rows of Sharon going on over here. I got a chair I need to paint, and I think that's just invasive honeysuckle growing up through these pots, but we'll find that out. Cut up grapevines, chickens. I don't know if there's any apple blossoms left. There were some beautiful blossoms on this tree way up there. You can tell my tree's seen better days just based on, you know, all the branches that have had to been cut off because they died. But I'm going to try to get a couple more years out of this apple tree. But that is why I have some cuttings over there trying to take root, because I want to see if I can keep this apple tree. I don't know what kind of apple it is, but it's pretty good for, you know, pie fillings. And, you know, it's a nice crisp green apple. So, hoping to keep that one around. I think this is a wild plum tree back here that we planted. We got from the Ag Extension on their tree day thing a couple years ago. It's doing great. That is invasive honeysuckle, which I need to take a machete to. Hey chickens. Buck, 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 buck. Looks like the grapevines are doing their thing. I know you're supposed to prune back grapevines really, really hard. And leave the chickens alone. And I always think that I'm going to, and then it always becomes spring so fast that I just have to chop away at it as best I can, and then we get what we get. But usually we get grapes, so that's fine. This is I think it's a Golden Delicious apple tree that's blossoming over here. And just check out how pretty these flowers get. You know. So if we get these good and pollinated, maybe we'll get some Golden Delicious apples, or maybe we'll get some cross between whatever those kind of apples are and these. These are more Texas Star hibiscus that may or may not have completely frozen. That freeze is wild this year, so we'll see what happens. This is where I keep all the trash. It's one of those projects where I need to clean up. But down in here is something called a Jerusalem artichoke, and it's basically like a native sweet potato type thing, and it just grows by accident, and it gets super tall and then has these yellow flowers at the end of the season. You dig it up and there's like basically a sweet potato under there. I don't know, it's wild. I haven't harvested them, but I saw them at the end of the season last year and then had to Google search them, and that's what those are. But I think that's the tour of the flowers today. I don't think we've got anything else going on. I've still got plenty of projects over here that I need to be held digitally and physically accounted for. Cleaned up some of this area, but you see I've got clovers and weeds and stuff kind of growing all over the place. So if you've got, like me, you've got maybe a million garden pages posting these beautiful, very expensive looking, fantastical gardens that you don't think there's any way you could ever achieve, don't let that stand in the way of you just picking a project and digging up the yard, because most of this stuff you see here is just salvaged material since the COVID-19 pandemic. We just kind of build one little thing at a time, and you can tell it's a work in progress, but you know, you find a bunch of bricks, you build a path, you find a bunch of lumber, you build some raised beds, and some of it works out and some of it falls apart. Sometimes you find a guy selling windows for $5 a piece in White House, and you drive up into the mountains and some guy tore down a barn and he's just trying to get these windows out of his truck. So you end up with a greenhouse. You know, just it takes time, but it comes to this after a while, and you know, just want you all to see where it's going in the behind the scenes stages, to know that your garden doesn't have to look miraculous every day of the season, because mine never does. And I'm not going to kid you by posting the videos of the up-close shots of the flowers with the good stuff in the background. I could send you pictures of this Japanese maple and the well-curated stuff underneath it all day, and that would be a lie. But for now, I'm just going to go inside and enjoy my weekend. Tomorrow we're going to go to the farmer's market. They're having their plant sale. Quit biting your butt on YouTube. But I think that's it for now. Maybe this weekend I'll have some good project updates, but have a good day.